4.2 seconds left. The Buffalo face-off win should do it. And the face-off poked over the line. Slapped back the other way by Falzer. 1 second to go, and that is it. An unbelievable, shocking upset in Lowell, Massachusetts. The Buffalo Beauts have toppled the Boston Pride, and they take the Isobel Cup by a final score of 3-2.
What a run for the Buffalo Beauts. First they had to defeat New York on the road. Not many people thought they would do that. Then upending the Boston Pride, who hadn't lost in over a year until just a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago exactly, to the New York Riveters on Sunday. So the Pride finished with 2 losses, but Buffalo, the story of the season, complete underdog in every sense of the word, able to come, not exactly a true road game, but it sure feels like a road game against the Boston team playing in Massachusetts.
Well, the Pride less than an hour away at Warrior Ice Arena. They brought a good contingent of fans here to Tsongas Center. So yes, it felt like a road game for the Buffalo Beauts, and they played this one, Marissa, like a road game. They took the breaks that were handed to them. There were not many breaks that were given to them, but they scored. Well, they scored early in the first period. Megan Bozick picked up a power play, an even strength goal on a big shot from the right point. That gave Buffalo the momentum they needed, and Boston, well, it just took them too long to finally get one into the net.
Have to give Buffalo a lot of credit for how they ended their regular season, fighting to finish with that number 3 seed, battling with Connecticut all year long there for the bottom 2. So that winning that number 3 seed, they got to avoid playing Boston at Warrior Ice Arena, where they were undefeated all year. And that got them to play at New York, where they won, and then making it all the way to this game where they defeat the Pride. So a lot of credit given to the Beauts and how they really handled this run.
Yeah, a first round game or a semifinal game at Warrior between these two teams might have had a completely different flavor. And I think the victory for Buffalo on Friday night in New Jersey over the New York Riveters gave them hope. I think they needed that victory, and they played a 60-minute effort. They showed offense, something they didn't have much of all season long. And they generated more scoring chances tonight in terms of shots on goal. They had 11 shots in the first period, so they were able to get some things done offensively in this game. They showed that on Friday night as well, but I think just getting that win, sometimes hope is all you need, and that's what Buffalo got, and that built up their confidence for tonight's game.
Talk about them not having much offense all year long, not a high shot total in New York on Friday night. Tonight, unofficially here on the Jumbotron, it says only 15 shots for the Beauts, and it doesn't really feel like they had much more than that either. The majority of the second half of the entire game, from the end of the second period on into the third period, the Pride controlled the puck the entire time. And once again, I'd be stunned if Bri Mclaughlin isn't the MVP of the Isobel Cup, making 56 saves unofficially here. And like Phil, what you mentioned, probably her last game in the NWHL. What a way to go out.
Oh, absolutely. She was just phenomenal. To think about the goaltending getting the job done, and it was both goaltenders for Rick Sealing's team, because Mandy Levier was amazing on Friday night in New Jersey. She was perfect against the Riveters during the course of the regular season, 3-0. That's why Rick Sealing started her. I'm sure he looked at the numbers, saw how they performed, and decided to just make that call. And then he turns around and you think, well, Levier has all the confidence. Nope, he goes with Bri Mclaughlin, and she one-ups Mandy Levier and was just simply amazing. As we get set to send this down now to the NWHL Commissioner, Danny Ryland, at center ice as we get set to present the Isobel Cup.
I want to say thank you to the Boston Pride for an amazing season and an amazing Isobel Cup final. We couldn't have done this season without you, and thank you so much for everything you've done this year. I want to say thank you to the Boston Pride fans who made it up to Lowell and to Tsongas Center for an amazing venue, and for ABC News for covering the game today and the game on Friday as well. So thank you all for making the trip. And now the MVP. This year's MVP is Bri Mclaughlin. Thank you. Such a good game. Take a photo. And now, the Isobel Cup is going to be brought out by Anya Battolino, the NWHL PA Director. Emily Falzer, captain of the Buffalo Buttes, please come get the Isobel Cup. And Megan Bozak and Cheyenne D'Arcangelo.
With that cup right at center ice, the Boston Pride players with their sticks raised up in the air, saluting their fans, many of whom come down from the Boston area to watch their team. And, you know, Boston played very well, 58 shots on goal, and you don't win a game. That's tip of the cap to the other side. And, you know, the Boston Pride has last season's Isobel Cup. They pass it off to Buffalo, and upstate New York's got themselves a championship.
A lot of class from the Boston Pride after this game as well, still celebrating with their fans a fantastic season, but this moment for the Buffalo Buttes right now, winning the second ever Isobel Cup and avenging their loss last season as well. That has to feel good. Not exactly enemy territory, as we've said, but as close to it as you're going to get in a neutral site game. Certainly with the fan base that's been here tonight, it feels like a Boston game. But it's Buffalo coming out with the win when what really feels like two road playoff games.
Harrison Brown passing off the cup. Sarah Casorso raising it high in the air as you continue to see Cheyenne D'Arcangelo, and now that has been passed off. Corinne Bowie, who has two Isobel Cups. She was a member of the Boston Pride one season ago, scored a goal tonight. Cheyenne D'Arcangelo was a member of Connecticut last season, came over to Buffalo as a free agent, and she passes it off to Paige Harrington, the UMass Amherst product, raising that one high in the air, doing a victory lap on the Tsongas Center ice, and they will pass it off. Let's see who's got it next here. Devin Skeets, who did not play on Friday night. She was a scratch on Friday, showed some energy during the course of the game tonight. Jackie Greco, who did play in both of the semifinal and final games tonight, and injecting a little bit of energy as the 10th forward for this Buffalo Buttes lineup. They continue to pass the Isobel Cup around. Here's Courtney Kunachika at the blue line, and now they will put that cup down and pose for that celebratory championship picture all around the Isobel Cup, along with their head coach Rick Sealing, as they get set to take some pictures. Just an amazing night here up in Lowell, Massachusetts. History made once again, and this time by the heavy underdog Buffalo Buttes, who only managed to escape last place in the regular season by defeating the Connecticut Whale on the final day of the regular season. And they were even trailing in that game. But sometimes it's all about getting hot at the right time, and when it comes time for playoff hockey, whether it's a 7-game best of series or in this case, Marissa, one and done, hot goaltending can take you a long way, and hot goaltending took Buffalo all the way to the cup.
I don't care what level of hockey that it is. If you have a goalie in the zone, you're going to win more often than not, and that's what Buffalo had tonight in Bri Mclaughlin. This is a Boston team that's never faced elimination at any point in franchise history. So they faced elimination for the first time against Connecticut on Thursday night, and then tonight for the second time ever facing elimination, and this time they lose. And that's what happens when you don't have that best of three, when you have single elimination. You have an opportunity for a goalie to just absolutely stifle you. You have an opportunity for a goal from Megan Bozak right at the blue line to start the game, really set the momentum for the rest of the contest, and that's what happened to the Boston Pride tonight. A 3-game series, maybe it's a different situation, but tonight the Buffalo Buttes are champions.
Yeah, when you get a 3-game series or anything that's more than one game, it's a completely different flavor, and you don't have to worry about laying everything out on the line, and you got to win that final game. And sometimes winning that final game is a lot harder than winning the first game. But when it's a one and done, it really just has a different flavor as the Buttes continue to celebrate. We've got some interviews coming up downstairs as we get set to send it back to AJ Malesko Griswold, and she's downstairs with the MVP, Bri Mclaughlin.
Standing here with Bri Mclaughlin, MVP of the 2017 Isobel Cup playoffs. Congratulations. You were unbelievable tonight. What was your secret? How did your team pull off this upset?
I think we just had a lot of fire. Nobody thought that we would be here, and there was nothing but positive vibes, and we wanted to prove everybody wrong. And in between every period, it was don't give them an inch, because if you do, they can capitalize on it. So I think we played to our strategy, and it paid off.
You had over 55 minutes of a shutout tonight before they finally figured out a way to solve you. How did you feel in the last couple minutes when they were knocking on the door?
I was trying not to think about the shutout, because when you do, that's when they score. I just wanted to win, so if we could keep them outside as long as possible, that was going to be key.
Spoken like a true goalie, not thinking about the shutout. And this year you announced your retirement from competitive hockey. How does it feel to go out like this?
Unbelievable. I couldn't ask for anything more, honestly. I mean, you're playing in your last game, and it's mixed feelings, but you got to concentrate on your job here and get it done first.
Well, it's a really nice way to go out. You played really well. Congratulations, and enjoy. Go with your team. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you, AJ. Nothing like going out on top, Marissa, as Bri Mclaughlin, 56 saves in her final NWHL professional hockey game, and she leaves with the Isobel Cup. Doesn't get any better than this, and we'll send it right back downstairs in a moment, as we'll be joined by AJ and the assistant coach of the Buffalo Beauts, Craig Muni.
Here with Isobel Cup winning co-head coach Craig Muni. Congratulations, coach. Epic way to end the season. And I'm not even sure you're aware of this, but you are the very first player to have their name etched on both the Stanley Cup and the Isobel Cup. How does that make you feel?
I guess I'll be the first one with a trivia question for that answer, who won Stanley Cup and Isobel Cup. So the girls played fabulous all season, and our last 3 games, they came together and played unbelievable.
You guys knocked off the top seed. Pride were the heavy favorites coming in. How did you keep your players calm throughout the game?
Well, we just wanted to make sure the first period we came into after the period with the lead as much as we could try. And then we wanted to limit the shots to the outside as much as possible, too. We wanted to protect the front of the net, the back door, things that the Pride really do very well. We wanted to try and eliminate those as much as possible.
Well, congratulations. It was a great game tonight, and enjoy the celebration.
Thank you.
Back to you, Phil.
Thanks, AJ. That was Craig Muni, and the answer to a trivia question that I'm sure will be asked relatively soon. The first person to have their name etched on both the Stanley Cup and the Isobel Cup, the co-coach of the Buffalo Beauts, Craig Muni. And just an amazing game tonight for Buffalo. You run out of things. I mean, it's just at some point you're just rendered speechless. I know hard for us, Marissa, as announcers, to be speechless up here in the booth, but this wasn't something anyone expected. No one expected this, let's be real.
No, I didn't at any point this season expect anything like this to happen, just to be totally realistic, but just unbelievable for Buffalo.
But I'm sure one person who expected it, at least in her heart somewhere, Emily Falzer, the captain of Buffalo, and she's with AJ.
The Buffalo Beauts Isobel Cup winners in 2017, Emily Falzer, thank you for joining me. Huge congratulations on a great game. What were the keys to the game? How are you guys able to knock off the #1 Boston Pride?
I think we were just focusing on ourselves and the Buffalo Beauts and our style of play, which is grit and hard work. So I think we really brought it to them.
I heard in the team photo, Kelly Stedman said, you don't have to be great all the time, but how does it feel to be great when it counts?
Yeah, exactly. We were shorthanded a lot of the year, so we had everyone together. So that's just what our motto was this weekend. So we did it.
Did you feel as captain there was a big role for you to keep this team calm, keep them composed as they faced such a strong Boston Pride?
I think we have a great team. Everyone's composed. Everyone's played in big games, so it wasn't hard at all. Everyone knew what the common goal was, and we did it.
Well, congratulations. Go enjoy celebrating their team.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Phil.
Thank you, AJ. Emily Falzer, the captain of the Buffalo Beauts in her second season in the NWHL, and played a very important part of this franchise from day one in reaching her second straight Isobel Cup final, and finally being able to hoist that trophy above her head in an amazing game here at the Tsongas Center in Lowell, Massachusetts. Buffalo stormed out to a 3-0 lead by the midpoint of the second period. You know, Boston tried everything. They pulled their goaltender. They continued to attack. They just couldn't get on the scoreboard until too late in that third period.
Boston was able to play their game, especially in the third period. They were getting shots on net that they wanted to. It was really Mclaughlin, the MVP of the Isobel Cup final here in Lowell tonight, stifling the Boston Pride, making 56 saves, and that's why this game ended the way it did. But Megan Bozik's really the one who set the tone for this game when she got it going with a goal right over the blue line, and from there Brittany Ott ends up being pulled from the game, and McLaughlin stars, leaving the Buffalo Beauts as the Isobel Cup champions in a stunner over the Boston Pride.
And you can see that Buffalo team celebrating as they jumped out to that 3-0 lead. And well, Brittany Ott didn't last all night, but Boston tried their hardest. Buffalo has played a little bit better as they picked up the second ever Isobel Cup after Boston won it last year. The Beauts take it. And that will put a bow on the NWHL season as Bri Mclaughlin closes out her professional career with 56 saves, and the Buffalo Beauts celebrate. Upstate New York is ecstatic over their Beauts, the NWHL champions, as they hoist the Isobel Cup. For AJ Malesko, Griswold, and Marissa Ingemi, I'm Phil Jubileo saying so long from Tsongas Center in Lowell. You've been watching the NWHL Isobel Cup Finals. Good night, everybody.